NLCS here on NCS, it's the National Collegiate Esports Association. My name is Rapid. With me is Caster Seda. And aside from making him cast in French tonight, we're looking at our last game of the night. It's OSU versus CSUS, or the wait a second. I had this acronym before.
You had
It's
it.
the California State University at Sacramento. Yes. Gosh,
Hey,
I'm so
very nice.
so
Very
good at
impressive.
this.
It's definitely a lot more impressive than anything I can come up with. I'm not good with acronyms. I see OSU and I'm thinking, okay, so up. And that's it. That's the only thing that comes to mind.
Well, there you go. I could think of probably worse things. So we're just going to go with the California State University of Sacramento. They are your team on the purple side, and they'll be taking on OSU. I'm from Dallas, Texas, so that's, or at least originally, and so maybe my heart's somewhat closer to OSU, but there's a little bit of a rivalry between us and them. So for all intents and purposes, I'm going to remain impartial. So let's just go ahead and jump into the picks and bans right now. We got Ziggs, Tristana, and Lee Sin. A lot of long range, a lot of late game banned out there by OSU. But you can see actually some weird picks coming out. There's a Vladimir ban, and for all intents and purposes, every single ban versus the top laner. That is actually kind of weird until you realize that SS for Fail is a Vladimir main. He also plays a high amount of Irelia, so kind of confused as to why we didn't see that one banned out there. So probably should see that still locked in for OSU.
Yeah, but seeing the variety in these past couple of days in champion picks, and especially in the top lane, the return of Maokai, Ryze, and Lulu continuing to dominate with that AP bully. Somebody like Irelia has a little bit of trouble during the early laning phase. Yeah, she can turn into an excellent fighter if she manages to get that farm, if she manages to get that Trinity Force, or even an Iceborne Gauntlet. But I like the Kha'Zix pickup instead. That's a lot of flexibility. He's not so fantastic in the mid lane anymore, but he's still a powerhouse in the top lane if you can get nice isolated targets by bullying your opponent away, by abusing that unseen threat passive as much as possible. But it's likely we're going to see that switched into the jungle. And, you're exactly right. Those top lane bans really are showing that CSUS are pretty concerned for SS for Fail in that top lane. You said he was a Vlad main. What other tricks could he have up his sleeve?
Well, like I said, should expect to see an Irelia at top, and once again, that does depend on the matchups. So right now, we're looking at the carry lineups about to be locked in. You already know there's a Syndra in the middle lane, so maybe a little bit interesting to see that one picked out. The more interesting thing, at least for me, is going to be what those top lane matchups are. Now, there's a lock-in on Nidalee. However, this doesn't necessarily have to be top lane Nidalee. It could always be the infamous, jungle Nidalee. I've heard that it's actually pretty good. Mid lane Nidalee is still around too.
Yeah, it's definitely sleeper OP. I actually tried it out just for fun right when she got her rework. So her biggest problem is her mana pool, because you use her mana pool to keep her sustained in lane. While in human form, she's very, very vulnerable. She has difficulty whittling down the jungle camps when they're at full health. But once she switches over to Cougar form, the execution bonus off of her Q really clears camps super, super quick, and she can be very mobile. In addition, the homing on your pounce with extended range, if you lands the spear, makes ganking a ton easier. You just have to wait for your opponent to overextend a little bit, get caught without some minions. You toss out a single spear, then you can pounce, go for some more damage, try to reset the pounce once again, and go for the execution. Right, she doesn't have any hard CC, but it's still very fun.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, as much as I'd love to theory craft about Jungle Nidalee, probably not what we're going to see here. But Reynald, more importantly, gets his arguably his strongest champion. It's a Corki, and it's locked in there, and that means really the only thing you have left to lock in is that top lane pick, so it's saving the best for last, and CSUS will get a chance to lock in their counter pick for what I can only assume is a top lane Nidalee. Might see something get switched up here, but more likely than not, we're looking for our mid and support picks here for OSU. Mid looks like it's going to be an Orianna, and honestly, Orianna versus just about anything. You can make that matchup what you want it to be. If you want to play super aggressive,
I really hope that's an Alistar lock-in the bottom lane. I'm really sorry to cut you off.
There we go.
So exciting. I love seeing Alistar in the support lane. He's been making a comeback in the top, and ever since he got removed a little bit because of the removal of the double tap proc on the head, but he's kind of faded away, but he's still such a strong I guess, linebacker. He's just going to be following Yasuo Shampoo around, not Yasuo, external around, and knocking targets up and away while that's significant amounts of damage. So expect Yasuo Shampoo to go for some crazy high damage build, something like an Infinity Edge, maybe even skip the Bork entirely and go Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, Phantom Dancer, or possibly Static Shiv. Because I would be really surprised if this wasn't a hypercarry Yasuo.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty scary to watch. And okay, well, it would have been scary to watch, but and somewhat ironically though, we expected to see that top lane matchup be an Aurelia for SS for Fail. He's not going with it. Picked up the Italy, and like we suspected, that's up there in the top lane. But what's the counter pick here? What do you pick against that? And looks like Lissandra.
Yeah, the Lissandra is actually really excellent against Nidalee. She doesn't have anywhere near as much sustain, but she has crowd control, and that is Nidalee's greatest weakness. She can move around more quickly in the brush. She can leap to and fro from the minions. She can toss out long-range attacks, but Lissandra can close that distance with her Ice Claw. She can lock Nidalee down, completely denying the ability to pounce, which is a movement-based ability, and then keep her locked down in a single form, either the human or the cougar, once she manages to get that ice prison. So Izanari really picked that up very, very smartly. It's going to be a little dangerous for Izanari during the early couple of levels, because if that is going to be an AD Nidalee, she should be able to bully a Lissandra away. But again, that all comes down to player skill and, of course, the interaction from the junglers.
All right, well, those are our final lineups for both teams. OSU with Nidalee, Kha'Zix, Orianna, Lucian, and an Alistar in the bottom lane. And that's going to be versus California State University, Sacramento's Lissandra, Vi, Corki, Braum, and Syndra. Forgot Syndra there for a second, so honorable mention to her. But just to look at the lineups before we go ahead and hop into our 3-minute spectator delay, I'm really liking that top lane matchup for that Nidalee. Nidalee's early poke damage should just completely destroy Lissandra. Maybe she wants to go for that Seeker's Arm Guard first, and that'll help her out a little bit in the matchup, but you can't really itemize against Nidalee because she'll poke you down with physical damage early, but she's never going to kill you with that. She's going to kill you with a takedown, which is all magic damage.
Yeah, so it's going to be pretty entertaining to see how that is going to be itemized right away. Ever since Nidalee's rework, the Ginsu's Rage Blade has been a lot more comfortable on her because it just flows so much more with her kit, the ability to transform and continually keep that stacking up the auto attacks in both Cougar and human form. And while the transform itself does not proc the Ginsu's, it does allow for a lot more mobility and freedom, whichever form you're in when it is fully stocked. Now, I talked a little bit about this a few moments ago, but the junglers are going to have a really big impact on this game. You've got the jungle Kha'Zix against jungle Vi, an assassin versus a frontline fighter. If Kha'Zix can isolate a single target, Syndra before she gets her Scatter the Weak or Corki without a Braum, that is a free kill. But meanwhile, Vi, she's going to be looking to wombo her kills up with Izanari, with kills, heck, even with Glycerin in the bottom lane.
All right, well, we'll check out those wombo combos when we come back. We're going to take about 1 minute break, but don't go anywhere because when we return, it'll be our best of one final game of the night as OSU, it's Oklahoma State University, takes on California State University, Sacramento. Once again, this is NLCS, part of the National Collegiate Esports Association. My name is Rapid, with me is Caster State, and we'll return in just about a minute for OSU versus CSUS.
Come on.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to NLCS Week 2, day number 2 for our last game of the night. It's OSU, which is both an incredibly fun game to play and a great League of Legends team. They're from Oklahoma State University, and they're playing up tonight against California State University, Sacramento. Oregon? Did I say Oklahoma? Oh man, this means I get to test out my pronunciation of the word Oregon. All right, I'll do my best there. External's going to do his best not to give away first blood, and he does get out of there, but is forced to skill up that relentless pursuit. So I'm going to... I'll just talk solely about California State University, Sacramento, and I'll leave Oregon State up to Caster Seda.
Yeah, Oregon State, not Oklahoma State, are looking to just sit back, have a nice defensive line, and of course, as I say that, there's an invade going down in the middle of the map. That's going to be Nidalee and Kha'Zix just dropping a little bit of a ward. Glycerine could possibly catch him out, but instantly Fail gets out of there. Now, why don't we go ahead and introduce these teams? You did basic introduction, but OSU, Oregon State University with SS for Fail in the top lane. Yasuo Shamplu taking Kha'Zix in the jungle. Pubbly Wugglies going to be taking Orianna in the mid lane. External and Psycho Asian going to be in the bottom on Lucian and Alistar respectively.
All right, well, so talking about the way that the lanes should work out, nothing too crazy, no 2v1s, just should be standard lane setups, but junglers will be starting on opposite sides of the map, so both with their blue buffs, and that really does affect what lanes they're going to be in position for, and kind of their early jungle strategies. If you want to go for more of a farm route, then it'll delay your start, but you can still wind up on that upper side of the map if you start on the lower side. But the big thing to notice is it's going to be for Kha'Zix, especially, since he is such a strong early powerhouse, especially with that Lysandra up in the top lane. He's not going to be there for a while, so she can play a little bit more aggressively and maybe harass a little bit more, but at the same time, SS for Fail knows that he might be looking for some early ganks coming in from Vi.
You know, I really think that the Kha'Zix is going to be a little bit slower early on, but it's really a question of preference as to which is going to be more effective in the late game. As far as how the team compositions are lined up, I really like how that Yasuo Shamplu is taking Kha'Zix with an Alistar, so there's a lot of potential for some easy picks and assassinations, some definite wombo combo potential. Not to mention 2 ball delivery systems on both Orianna and Alistar. It could definitely work out rather well. On the other hand, though, Ryze, he's got a lot of wombo combo potential as well. Not direct comboing abilities, but just how the teams go together. But action in the bottom lane.
Yeah, can't keep our eyes off this one. Glycerin, unfortunately, hitting a minion there with his Winter's Bite, but it's all good. You can see the wave itself, though, actually pushing away into Sacramento's bottom lane, and that's actually really, really good for them, because that means that they'll be able to use maybe a little bit of an early game aggressive disadvantage to their favor, because you got to keep in mind, like, Alistar doesn't do anything when you're pushed underneath your turret, like, unless he's going to dive you, which isn't going to happen until it's level 6. Alistar is pretty useless. Oh, top lane though, the path's in there onto Izunari, does get the lane leap out, but it's not enough. 2 dashes, and the first blood from the long-range Sniperino.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. Being able to get that homing pounce, no matter how far away you get, it's got the extended range, so you're going to be able to follow it up with some significant damage and possibly pick up the kill. And just like that, SS for Fail takes a quick advantage for OSU, but here's Yasuo in the mid lane.
Gotta keep our eyes in there. One more attack. There's a flash in for the unseen threat. He actually draws 2 flashes in there, but the kill, nonetheless, Mr. Puggly Wugglies might be... might be in a little bit of trouble. I just can't say that name dramatically. Trying to turn this one back around, but Izunari's isolated. Now he walks way into the dark forest. There's scary monsters in there. Yasuo... wait, I keep saying Yasuo because of Yasuo Shamplu, but he was able to jump in there. He gets 1 kill. Puggly Wuggly gets... gets another kill. This game's gonna be fun to cast every time Orianna does something.
Absolutely. Puggly Wuggly He's going to be looking for some really, really powerful early laning plays. We can see he's dead even in CS, but looks like Psycho Asian getting a bit aggressive in that bottom lane, and Glycerin is going to have to be careful.
Oh man, just the last 120 HP. Hanging on there for Glycerin. Reynald. I don't know, man. This bottom lane is like so aggressive, but at the same time, I don't really think it's going to mean all that much. Okay, this is one thing Reynald really needs to get straight. He keeps walking forward right in line with the last hittable minions, and External just throws on Piercing Light, goes right through it, actually gets bonus value. He's hit Reynald like 3 times in a row with those Piercing Lights, and you gotta stop taking that damage.
Yeah, free little trades like that aren't going to be helping him out in lane. Of course, there is the Alistar for some passive regeneration, but on the other hand, Glycerin, I believe he does have the Runic Shield, so he should be able to help get some health back to Reynald. Not as much sustain as that Runic Shield, though I'm sure it does provide some regeneration in its own right. But take a look at Yasuo Shampoo going once again, and you're right, that is really confusing. Really, really aggressive plays out of him.
He's going aggressive in the bottom lane, forcing the Valkyrie out. Reynald got a headbutt pulverized comboed out there. He's not going to be able to stay in there, but speaking of staying in there, Yasuo Champloo, got to keep your eyes on this guy. He's going to leap over the wall, throws it down, and kills him with just the Void Spike. Holy cow, that guy is dealing a lot of damage. 108 AD on him. Now Glycerin's going to try to walk away from his turret. There aren't minions there, so might have gotten some isolation damage down, but not wanting to overextend. Yasuo Champloo just gets out.
Yeah, Shampoo, he's maxing out that W first, actually, for maximum sustain. That means he wants to keep on the map as long as possible, as little recalls, so that he can get more effective ganks into lanes, that he can get those assassinations onto Corki. And just like that, OSU, they're up 4 kills and a dragon 7 minutes in. I hate to say snowball, but this is turning into an avalanche.
And keep in mind, this is the Oregon State University that, you know, we thought was going to have an okay showing last time. It didn't really have that great a game. It was really rough. Turns out in the end game, wound up faltering just a little bit. But look at them, just across the board. Top lane, you've been picking up solo kills, and oh no, Izunari is going to be in a rough spot there. One more spear is all it's going to take. Can he land it? Walking back towards the turret. Kiting misses the spear. He survives with just a little bit of HP left for both top laners. So looking for another spear, but there's a minion line there. Izunari is going to be safe and sound for now. And SS for Fail was so lucky that Rise wasn't top lane.
Yeah, that Lissandra just doesn't have as much tankiness as the Rise, and we can see he's being bullied down so much
Well,
this
he's only
early
level
on.
5, so no ult.
Yeah, exactly. And take a look at the CS difference. It's already 20 CS lead for SS for Fail, in addition to the kill that he has. And with Izunari having died twice, that's not looking very good, but some pressure in the bottom lane from Reynald, and Glycerin put Psycho Asian and External on the back foot for the first time in 8 minutes.
Psycho Asian actually got a nice headbutt into turret range onto Glycerin, but he just used Stand Beside Me to get out of there. No, oh no, they're leaping on Izunari, gets the ultimate off. But once again, it's just a little bit of HP. One auto attack's enough for SS for Fail. Like SS for Succeed. Takes down that kill up in the top lane for the 2nd time in a row.
Yeah, this time he didn't look for the spear. He knew that he had the AD advantage with the early Phage build, so that he wasn't going to risk missing a kill. He said, you know what, I've got health with the Phage, I've got damage with the Phage, and I've got movement speed. There's nothing to worry about. But here comes Rise in the top lane, looking to pick off SS for Fail. Can he catch him?
Got that ultimate down there. Yeah, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Rise knocks it down.
A little bit of action in the bottom lane as External and Psycho Asian are looking for some action. But
Reynald's got to be very careful there. He's playing that one with 150 HP. Psycho Asian, no, he's got kill potential. They will push them back away, but might be pushing them right into Yasuo Champloo. The heal comes out, but look at where he goes. We're going in onto this one. Reynolds dive for the turret. Needs one more Q, but it's not enough. Flash it underneath. It's External. And the internal kill behind enemy lines. You gotta keep an eye out on Mr. Pugly Wuggly. He, not quite as Pugly Wuggly as he used to be there. Yeah, his kills.
he did go down. He's not Mr. Pugly Wuggly so much. He's Mr. Pugly Wuggly Jr. You gotta grow into the role a little bit more, because as it stands, he's currently died once, and while he is keeping up in CS, he does have a kill and assist, but Kill's getting flanked.
Coming down onto Kills. He doesn't have his ultimate. One more auto attack. There's SS for Fail. He's gonna get a phage reset from that one. A little bit of an ice path trying to escape. Isunari knows all too well what SS for Fail can do. Dodges away from the spear. Still looking for spear number 2 to pick up this kill. Look at those auto attacks straight out. There's nothing Isunari can do.
Yeah, that's the phage that I was talking about. SS for Fail, he's not going to be going for the Iceborne Gauntlet. That's a Trinity Force. He is going just for straight, good old-fashioned bully Nidalee. And something that was really, really popular before the... Oh, looks like some action isn't already... Oh, no, he's not going to look for it. But that Trinity Force means that SS for Fail, he's going to be getting nice up and in your face in Cougar form and with melee auto attacks.
Looking at maybe some downtime after all that action. SS for Fail might be looking to heat things back up again. Now some coverage in the enemy jungle, laying out some traps and keeping up the siege in mid. And especially with Mr. Puggly Wuggly's Orianna here, this should be a great opportunity for this turret to take maybe a lot of damage. I mean, Glycerin's going to have some engage potential, but just look at all this poke damage coming in from behind. Spear lands, Yasuo Champloo doesn't want to go in against the Unbreakable. SS for Fail is very far behind this turret. Not going to overextend for it. Command Shockwave, though, will hit on the kills. A little bit of damage coming in. There's the spear, but not sure where that one went. Didn't hit, but SS for Fail gets in, gets out with a flash.
Yeah, SS for Fail is 4 and 4 for spears right now. He's landed every single one and on the most valuable of targets, hitting Rise before he can get off that assault and battery, bring him down to 200 health, so that when the dive starts, he can't keep people locked down under the turret, hitting kills as he was retreating and even getting Glycerin before the Unbreakable went off. That's just so much free damage being tossed out by SS for Fail. He is steamrolling so hard right now. He's up about 10 CS, but he's got 4 kills. He's been involved with half of the kills coming out of OSU, and as it stands, man, CSUS are just having the most difficult time.
And that wasn't even, like, what's so impressive is that it wasn't just an individually skilled performance picking up kills in mid lane. That was a 4v5. You had External all the way down bottom. He took a turret. It's the first turret of the game going over to Oregon State University. So they grabbed that turret kill, and oh my gosh, look at SS for Fail, just absolutely nothing that Isunari can do. He's chosen to go like a triple Doran's build for early game, but he's a little bit too far behind for that.
Yeah, triple Dorans is not the way to go, and he does have a Fiendish Codex under his belt. I think he's going for the Dorans now after the Fiendish Codex because he made a couple of mistakes in his build. He really should be building his Zonias first on the Lissandra, considering how much trouble his team is having. He cannot afford to try to go for something risky like a Deathfire Grasp, because if he gets locked down...
Oh, Isunari, he's got that mark of the hunt on him. He's not going to be able to make it out of this one alive. SS for Fail might go down, but he gets the heal and the dangerous game mastery. So much health coming back his way. He'll make it out alive.
Yeah, he's currently sitting at about 60 health right now. He's back up to 90 after the regeneration, but that's exactly what I was talking about. There's no way to deal with that Nidalee. A Deathfire's Grasp is not the way to do it, but looks like a fight breaks out.
Headbutt, pulverize, it's all going down on the Rise there. He's gonna get crit down there by External in the back. Now he's going internal, way into the front of the team fight. Gets that summoner heal off, he's in the front. Yasuo Champloo's on a killing spree, and now Glycerin forced a flash out of that fight. He's about the only person happy with the way that thing went, because he stayed alive. Kills, though, not saving private kills. Will it be no man left behind? There's the boys' fight. A nice 2-man stun coming backwards off the Scatter of the Weak. The kills is still on the run. See if he can make this one out of here. Just too much resources being spent chasing that guy. He'll actually make it out alive, but at what cost?
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's 11-2 right now, a 7,000, soon to be 8, as OSU takes the second dragon of the game, this time completely uncontested. Isunari is positioning around the river, but he doesn't have his Ice Tomb. There's not a chance that he's going to be going into that pit, because Lissandra has no resets. She has no way to pick off 4 targets, one after the other after the other. And now that the Infinity Edge is finally finished on External, that's the exact build that I was talking about. The high crit, maximum damage, don't even worry about survivability Lucian. He's just going to be absolutely destroying his targets. It's 14 minutes in, a 9-kill advantage. CSUS are having a really difficult time.
Yeah, if your early game snowballs for Lucian, you can try to go with this for something like maybe a Brutalizer into Yomu's build. Like, that's actually pretty good. But if you just want that, the biggest power spike you can get on an AD carry is the Infinity Edge. But now, look at SS for Fail. He's trying to pick off Rise, but he's in a 1v3 situation deep inside the enemy jungle. So he'll be needing some help, and he'll get it in the form of Mr. Puggly Wugglies. coming over there to help him out. So now it's kind of an awkward position here. Nice stun will land onto two. There's the ice path in. Ult coming in from kills goes on to Mr. Pugly Wuggly. There's two ults used onto him and he's still alive. Able to just kite back to the back there. Look at Sicko Asian. He is so huge as that front line in the middle. He's looking for the headbutt pulverized combo. The flash in, a four-man pulverized there. Missinari, ironically enough, is alive there in the back. Psycho Asian might actually die from this one. Gets sniped down over the wall, but now it's Reyna gonna go down. Oh my god. It is a 3 alive, 2 for 5 exchange in favor of Oregon State.
Yeah, an absolutely incredible ace coming out from Oregon State. They played that perfectly. So much was blown to try to destroy Pugly Wugglies, but they weren't able to get far enough into the backlines to secure it. And after Psycho Asian dropped the Unbreakable Will, the flash headbutt all but secured the follow-up from SS for Fail, and Yasuo Shampoo on Kha'Zix getting not one, not two, but 3 assassination kills allows for an ace, a turret, and what could very well be yet another's Pugly Wugglies. He's going to town.
Yeah, there you go. It's the 4th uncontested turret of the game right now. And I say uncontested, I mean, I'm sure that Sacramento would love to contest their turrets, but there's only so much you can do. And honestly, this game kind of feels like a 2v5 because, I mean, you have 7 kills on your top laner. SS Fails putting in work. 6-0. Deathless performance from Shampoo, so things are looking good for that synergy up there in the top lane. And you can even see Sicko Asian, like that guy's not even bottom lane. He is never heading back down there. He's a roam cow now. He is home on the range out there with Yasuo and Shampoo.
Yeah, natural grown Alistar right here as he is just feeding his way to victory. And as it stands, he's 0-1 and 10. That's a 10 KDA, but looks like kills might be caught out here by Yasuo Shampoo. Gets stunned. So he's not going to be able to continue further in. But speaking of KDAs, let's just go down at OSU and take a look. 5, 10, 10, 3, and 10. 3 members of their team have a KDA of 10. That is absurd, especially 17 minutes in.
Yeah, but look at SS for Fail. He's forsaken that top lane. It's like, look, you want a solo lane external? Why don't you try out top lane? He's going to be able to push that one down ranged, and especially Lucian, very mobile, very good at split pushing for an 80 carry, so he's going to be able to take down that top turret. He's going to get a huge rotation from the rest of Oregon State, and on the bottom lane, SS for Fail is still pushing that in.
Yeah, he's just doing what he can. He's actually got teleport as well, so if a team fight breaks out, he can join up with everyone else. And I'm sure he's got plenty of time to use that teleport. There's not that much that he needs to worry about. Psycho Asian can keep people alive long enough. Orianna can even use the shockwave to help distract, but looks like a fight might be breaking out as Izanari is looking for SS for Fail, but instead they disengage.
Yeah, and I think at this point, especially with the Morellonomicon complete, Izanari should have enough wave clear to just AFK clear against SS for Fail, but we'll keep an eye on that. I mean, anytime you're just AFK pushing something in like really, really hard, and the other guy is just like asking you politely to stop, it's up to you whether or not you want to listen to him, or if you just want to keep pushing, because sooner or later, things are gonna, break down, and you're gonna be able to take down that turret. I'm not sure that was an entirely appropriate analogy, but you get the idea. It's going to be a rough time for Izanari down bottom.
We could throw a Shurima reference in there, like the sands of time wearing away at the Shurima Empire, even the greatest of turrets shall fall. Boom, lore.
Damn, that was pretty impressive. All right, I'll leave the lore references up to you. I'll just stick with some analogies. But for now, SS for Fail. He's going back to base. Is this a static shiv? Yes, it is. This is like the lightning cow build, but it's on the lightning cat now. SS for Fail.
Lightning cat. I like it. That's going to be a really scary SS for Fail because the static shift charges up not only with auto attacks but also with mobility. So if he gets a long range spear, tosses a single auto attack, transforms into cougar form, pounce onto the target, that is going to be so many additional static charges to proc once he lands again. It's just burst on top of burst.
Crazy.
Whoa! Shockwave coming out from Pugly. I can't do it.
It's true.
It's great.
The most dire of situations, like, oh no, something very sad has happened. We've lost our beloved Pug. You just can't say that with a straight face. I was thinking about the lightning cat reference, and I'm pretty sure there's a variety of the Liger from some Zoids that had something similar to what we're seeing here from SS for Fail.
He's the Thundercats. He's Lion-O.
Oh,
SS
that's
for fail.
true.
It's Lion-O.
Oh my gosh, yes. The Thundercats are on the move. The Cats are loose at the top lane.
Oh, Thundercats Ho. He's being flanked down right now. A 4-man collapse assault and battery is available on Rise. Izanari, nowhere to be seen with the Entomb. But instead, they're going to go clear the Wraith camp. I don't know if I agree with that.
Dude, Rays, man, they give you that gold. You need that in the late game. And that last health potion is really going to turn things around. Looking for a cut there. Psychoation is trying for a little bit of slice into off the mid lane off the flank, but nice push back there by Rise. Gonna take a little bit of dissonance damage. Walks around the wrong corner, but you can see the 4-1 now starting to set up. Oregon State is they're seeing the end game coming up.
Yeah, they certainly are. It's now 20.5 minutes into the game. A 14,000 gold lead for Oregon State University. Let me repeat that. 14,000 gold. That comes out to about 1,600 gold over their opponents per minute. And that's rough calculations. Don't quote me on that, but that's a dangerous number.
All right, well, speaking of things getting rough, you can see SS for fail. He's trying as hard as he can to live up to the last half of his name, but just poking into the middle of 5 people. Should be like, wanna come catch me? But they actually don't, and I don't blame them either. But look at this Kha'Zix build. Last Whisper Brutalizer, like, that's a lane Kha'Zix build, but he is so far ahead, he can just go for it. And the poke damage starting to come out from those Void Spikes is insane.
Yeah, and look at the items being built all across from OSU. The only defensive item is going to be the Kindle Gem and the Sight Stone, and even then, that doesn't apply specific benefits to anyone. They're going for pure destruction right now.
Oh man, well, it does turn out that, you know, the defensive powers are there. They're actually pretty strong for CSUS. So Sacramento's got tons of wave clear. You got Corky missiles, rockets, phosphorus bombs. You got cinder balls. You even have Isunari, who's able to almost hold a wave independently against pretty much anybody that comes to it. So the wave clear is going to stall this game out for just a little bit longer. So what you're going to need is probably a dive from Psycho Asian, maybe the Cowball combo with Oriana. So
yeah, you're exactly right. They've been taking just a little bit too much time to take those inhibitor turrets. Yes, they've secured all of the turrets on the map. They've secured all the dragons. They've secured all of the kills. But what of it? If they wait another 20 minutes, that Corky is going to be able to absolutely destroy targets if he finishes off Blade of the Ruined King. By that point, Lissandra will also have her Zhonya's Hourglass for survivability, and the Deathfire's Grasp on kills can completely deny Yasuo Shampoo. It's going to have to happen within the next few minutes if they really want to have a solid fight to close out this game.
Bunch of options. Baron is one of them if you want to just like draw the enemy out of their base. They're, I guess, prioritizing the split push because they know they can win the split push battle, but they have to force an objective to keep command shockwave, but it only hits onto Glycerin. Barely caught, or almost caught Isunari, but wasn't quite enough.
And now we do have a potential flank coming down as Rise and Renald are a little bit too far forward. Meanwhile, SS for Fail giving a second avenue for attack as he's split pushing in that bottom lane. Pings are going down onto the Baron pit, so we could see OSU make a beeline for that and try to burst it down before Sacramento can respond. And SS for Fail just continuing to split push.
Yeah, you're going to see SS for Fail in a lane by himself for pretty much the rest of this game. There actually might not be a whole lot left on this game as Baron has been started out there, but there's no way to clear the ward coverage. Like, you can't do Baron unless you have a pink ward in the pit, or at least you're able to sweep it out there. And now this actually puts a little bit of a hurt onto SS for Fail, because all of the split pushing is pretty much for nothing if he gets caught out there by the rest of Sacramento collapsing on it.
Yeah, he's trying to toss some damage out onto the turrets, but again, can't exactly harm turrets with those long-range spears, unfortunately. So he's got to get the auto attacks, got to get the minion waves, and you said exactly, the Morellonomicon on Izanari means that he can finally keep up with the wave clear.
Oh, jumping in behind the turret, SS for turret, looking to get in there, but he dives way too hard there, does actually survive just off of that Hex Drinker. Going a little bit too aggressive on the dive. Winds up taking most of his life point out. Glycerin forced to flash over that double golemus wall. Man, he was a little bit out of position there trying to ward out Baron, but just couldn't make it there.
Yeah, it's so important to keep vision on that Baron, though. If they don't see into the pit, this is exactly what's going to happen. OSU are just going to take it entirely uncontested. Now OSU are bringing it down as quickly as possible. Rise is on his way, but they're clearing the wrong wards. They need to make a beeline for that pit if they want to try to go for a steal. It's getting low, 2,000 health, 1,000.
That's good. There we go, right through the uprights. 3 points and a Baron Nasher for OSU. Now Oregon, they're gonna keep chasing this one out. A nice glacial fissure thrown backwards will stop that engage and it'll get Sacramento back to their base alive, but they have to deal with a Baron buff now on OSU.
Yeah, now 25 minutes in, 17,000 gold in favor of OSU. There are 6 turrets to 1, 16 kills to 4, and a Baron buff. That siege that they were having so much trouble with about 7 or 8 minutes ago is going to be a cinch now. They've got the Phantom Dancer Infinity Edge finished on Lucian for that double tap turret destruction power. They've got the Last Whisper Brutalizer on Kha'Zix for pure assassination fun time. And Thundercat's Ho, man, that's a Maw of Malmortius.
That is a Maw. And you can see how effective even just the Hex Drinker was at saving SS Surveil's life at last dive. So it's paying off. It's good to see that in there. Might need something a little bit tanky when it comes to these big team fights, because you can see Isanari was even still almost able to blow him up. So I want to see that a little bit more tankiness, because there really is no tank on that lineup other than Alistar, who is pretty much only tanky for about 10 seconds.
Yeah, and with the burst finally coming out from Sacramento, they should be able to successfully pick off the target if they manage to find someone out of position. And take a look at the level difference. SS Surveil has been in a solo lane so long. He's level 16 to the level 11 of Psycho Asian. 5 levels ahead. And that's 7 levels on top of Glycerin. Holy wow!
Yeah, now there's not enough wave clear. Psycho Agent's just able to walk forward. He's gonna get the ball on it, and the attack speed from that heal on it Italy. He's just gonna dive through the turret. It goes down. SS Surveil takes out Isanari once again, and now the base is in shambles. One turret going down. We're gonna see a flashback in, and it's a godlike Yasuo Champloo. He's gonna pick up the kill there. It's kills and Isanari down, and more turrets to fall.
Yeah, they don't even care about the minion waves. They know that they're only going to take 2 or 3 hits and pick up yet another inhibitor. It's now 10 or 15 seconds before Izanari kills her back up, which neither of whom got to use their ultimates. And this could very well be the 3rd inhibitor as well. A Psycho Asian is going to be going in to try to tank this in time. There could be another dive as just about everyone has their summoner spells available, and that's exactly what happens as Yasuo goes deep.
No one willing to engage on that. The turret just falls, not with a bang, but with a whimper. Just getting poked down there at the end, and now with all 3 base turrets down and all 3 inhibitors dead, this is not much of the base left to defend for Sacramento.
You know, their Nexus is still standing. If this were solo queue, I'd be typing in chat, hey guys, we've got this. As long as the Nexus is up,
you're one of those people.
I am one of those people. And right now, CSUS need to have one of those people on their team, because as it stands, it's 28 minutes in. They're down all 3 inhibitors. They're down a Baron, every single turret except for the Nexus turrets, but the game isn't over. There's definitely an opportunity for a comeback, but it's going to be really, really difficult.
You know, I've seen bigger comebacks out there, so I'll keep my faith alive, but only for about another couple minutes.
Yeah.
We'll see about this. My plans are, like, if I'm OSU, I'm thinking, hey, the best thing to do is probably just, shove in the side wave like we've been doing. Once we get all the super minions up there, maybe just wait for them to flood the Nexus, take it safe and sound. Or they can do this, and just run straight up the mid lane, no cares at all, just click on the Nexus turrets and try to pick up the win. And the side waves are actually pushing themselves in pretty quickly, so they'll have the bottom and the mid wave there when they push in here for the finish.
Low, the spear is going to find him. Looks like this could very well be the last fight as Yasuo goes deep.
Command Shockwave right on top of Yasuo Champloo. He dies, but it's all done there. It's a 1-for-2 exchange. 1 Nexus turret down and more left to follow. Particularly with Vic taking a little bit of damage there off to the side. We got maybe an engagement from Mitsunari, but he's out of mana, so he can't even do anything. SS Surveil is just leaping everywhere. A double kill picked up there right at the end. The spear's coming up. He goes on to the fountain for the triple. It's a full house. A 5-to-1 exchange at the end, and a 23-to-5 30-minute win for Oregon State University.
Yeah, Cal Poly did the best that they can to hang on, but that game snowballed out of control so fast. It was like riding down an avalanche without any skis, but with tennis rackets strapped to your feet. It's just not gonna work out that well.
Sounds like you know that from personal experience, Caster Seda.
I'd love to say that I do, but I tried to think, how can we make this more ridiculous? Because Cal Poly, they played smart. They made the right decisions. They made the right rotations, but they were just completely, I don't want to say outclassed, but that game wasn't even close.
Yeah, it's Sacramento, not Cal Poly, and it's
Yes, yes.
Oregon State University instead of Oklahoma, as I mistakenly said earlier. But regardless of that, congratulations to Oregon State University. They will pick up their win here tonight. They'll advance themselves in the standings. You're like, what standings, Rapid? Well, if you guys want to check out the standings and all the details for both the League of Legends and CS:GO sides of NCSPA, you can head over to the National Collegiate Esports Association's website at www.ncspa.com. You can see links down below, and it's NCSPA, so it should make a lot of sense there. You can find updated stats, rosters, info on the brackets, how the tournament's working out, and all that information and more over at ncspa.com. You can also see all of our social media information up there. You can head over to NCSPA on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube for any of today's matches. I think that's going to do it for NLCS tonight. So I'd like to thank you all for watching, and more importantly, I would like to let you guys know if you'd like to talk to us in particular about these games. You can either hashtag NLCS, or you can tweet at RapidCasting or at CasterSeda if you guys have any further comments about tonight's games.
Yeah, of course, we will only respond to tweets that include hashtag ThundercatsHo.
I mean, I'm okay with Thundercats hose or any of the other varieties of hose out there. But either way, that's going to do it for tonight's games. Thank you guys so much for watching, for supporting the collegiate esports scene. It's a pretty awesome place to be a part of. So thanks for making this possible. We'll see you back here tomorrow. So make sure don't miss tomorrow's games. We'll see you then. Have a great night and an even better evening.